Story 1. I've been with my husband for 12 years, for kids together. Been best friends with this girl since we were in diapers, 25 plus years. We've all hung out together for years and had no issues a few weeks ago. We were all hanging out and drinking. Friend was planning on sleeping on our couch. After a few hours I decided to go to bed. They went outside to smoke before also going to bed. Now, 6 weeks later my husband tells me that after I went to bed, they had sex in the living room while I was upstairs sleeping. He says she initiated it. After a few minutes he realized it was wrong and pushed her off. They both blame it on being drunk. Meanwhile I had the same amount to drink and was definitely not drunk enough to do that. I have completely cut her off. And I'm struggling to know what to do about my husband. They are both wrong 100%. But I feel like I need to at least try to forgive him because we have built an entire life together. I know that if this had happened to someone I know, I'd be telling them to leave, but when it's you in the situation it's so much harder. I want to stay. I love him. Can't imagine not being with him, but also, how am I supposed to spend the rest of my life with someone who did this to me? I can't eat. I can't sleep. I just want the pain to go away. I'm so hurt. I'm just so confused. If you needed X that bad, why didn't you just come upstairs to me? How could he throw away our entire life to do this? This is the first time he's ever done anything like this. And he swears it'll never happen again. But he's also sworn that this would never happen to begin with. To top it all off, she's hung out with me multiple times since this happening. I don't understand how she was able to face me. After something like this, I have agreed to try counseling with my husband, but told him this doesn't mean I'm giving him another chance. I just need to know that I at least tried everything to make it work. He does seem very remorseful, which makes it even harder. I want to fight for us so bad, but how am I supposed to look at him the same? How am I ever supposed to have friends over? Do I need to be scared to spend a weekend away from him? Because if he's capable of doing this while I'm in the house, what's he capable of when I'm not there? I'm so upset because at the end of the day, I lose no matter what. Spend the rest of my life with someone that betrayed me in the worst way possible. Or leave him and only get to spend every other holiday with my children. I have told my entire family. I told the friend's family as well. I told my husband he needs to tell his family. I know we don't need to tell everyone our business, but I feel like he needs to feel ashamed of what he did. It's so hard when you just want to be comforted by the person you love the most in the world, but they're the one that put you in this position. My entire world has been turned upside down.
First comment.
How did this came to be? The game of 1,000 stolen glances, hidden flirtations, mind movies, years-long infatuation? Or do the people really just fall into each other while drunk? It is good that he confessed, hopefully not out of fear of discovery, but from genuine remorse. Did they use the protection? Carrying around condoms is a sign of further premeditation, or was it just the spur of the moment? STD test is in order. You have a small chance to come out of this, but only with full disclosure is honesty.
Second comment.
The biggest piece of advice I can give is take your time. Don't feel pressured to make a decision one way or the other. Weigh up the pros and cons for you to stay versus go in and decide accordingly. The fact that he confessed is good. The fact it took him 6 weeks, not so good. You need to ensure that there's been full disclosure and not trickle truth. Was it really an unpremeditated ONS? Or the culmination of an E? Had they hooked up before that night? Or did they have sex again, or make out, in the following 6 weeks? And I guess the other question is she the only one he's cheated with? Assuming it's not a bigger betrayal than you currently know of. In order for reconciliation to succeed, you need to be convinced that he's remorseful and he needs to understand why he cheated. Remorse means being sorry for the impact he's caused you, and the children not being sorry for the impact on him. And if he doesn't understand why he cheated, then he can't guarantee he won't do it again. That's the biggest thing. He has to convince you it won't happen again. And just saying he won't do it again isn't good enough. And finally, even if he does everything right, don't feel guilty if you decide to end it. Reconciliation is a gift, not an obligation. Sometimes the consequences of our actions cannot be overcome, no matter how much we may regret them, so do what is best for you. Story 2. My boyfriend and I have been dating for almost a year now. I'm in the Philippines and he's in America. We are both still living with our families. To give you a short background, I'm Chinese and he's American. We only met online and have been dating long distance. We have already met once and planning to meet again very soon. Things are really working great for the both of us. We have constant communication and we are also planning for the future. However, the problem is that I have traditional parents who insists that I should only date Chinese, hence we are kind of in a secret relationship. My parents doesn't know that things are getting pretty serious. The people I'm closest with, siblings, cousins and friends, do know about me and my boyfriend as they are all open-minded, unlike my parents. On his side, they do know about us and they do accept me. So I am really grateful for that. With this, I really feel guilty that he's already planning to come here for the second time. And I am still unable to introduce him to my parents. It's 2023 and my parents are really toxic and close-minded. I do get that they are just protective, and if ever I am going to be away from them without any single relative in the US. And also adding the human trafficking cases in the US, which also scares them if anything happens to me. But we already met and I really trust him. He's really a great and genuine man. I just don't get why they are still very strict about this. On top of it, we are only an average income family. And it's not like I'm getting any single inheritance from them if I end up with a Chinese. This actually really makes me sad. That me dating my current American boyfriend is a big deal for them. My boyfriend knows about this situation. And I have asked him to give me time to sort things out. At this point, I am just risking YOLOing and hoping maybe someday my parents would understand and respect my feelings rather than just thinking about their traditions.
First comment.
If you really trust your boyfriend and want to start a life with him, then you should probably go with him, weighing your options. If you're not worried about money, then going out on your own wouldn't be too bad. If you really believe that your parents are toxic, then isn't it a good idea to leave? But before you act, you really have to think about it, since if you're planning to live with your boyfriend, you would face other problems like American citizenship and such. I also think that America has bigger opportunities. Assuming already have a job, then finding one in the US would be your next goal. Aside from that, just tell your parents you'll be going out on your own and tell them you have a boyfriend after your living status is stable.
Second comment.
I sympathize with the sender as I'm currently in the same situation too, almost. But mine is that we're both living in the Philippines. BFM 23. Phil Kite, me F 23. Phil, I still have a hard time grasping how serious this Great Wall is. BF is breaking up with me due to fear of GW. Though it hasn't happened yet, we haven't told his parents yet, though his mom knows I exist. But is still unsupportive of us, so I'll never know what will be their response. He's too scared to bring this up to them. But I don't want to let go yet.